that just wipes you back to the castle every single time.
Most certainly. And then an added twist for the end, the Dragon Lord, which in the vanilla version of Dragon Warrior has 130 hit points, has a range of 150 to 165 hit points. So that accounts for a little more. Alright, so the king is going to give the instructions, and we are going to see what the first 3 treasure chests are here for our runner.
Looks like we have a magic key. We have a fighter's ring, which actually helps out their AP right away, and the Stones of Sunlight.
Now, the Stones of Sunlight is one of the items that are needed to acquire the Rainbow Drop, along with the Staff of Rain and Erdrick's Token. So that is one of the things right off the bat here. And the Fighter's Ring, meanwhile, once they put it on, it adds an additional 2 attack power to our runner's totals. And right outside the castle, we have a town. Oh, and it's the town of Cole.
Indeed. So let's see what we have when they search 4 spots south of the bath. A token.
Erdrick's Token. So already a couple of the key items being found early on here. Not even 2 minutes into this seed.
So, question in chat from Noctis Vigil. So, what does the starting game do again? It basically kind of determines what stats grow quicker than others. Okay? So, if you take a look at Ouijawii's side on the left here, Ouijawii has a capital L. So that means his strength and HP are going to grow quicker than his other stats. Whereas Will Wagner has a little D. So Will Wagner's strength and agility will grow a little quicker than his other stats. So we're going to see a difference there between those two. And we're going to be able to track them as they get levels based on, you'll be able to see it on the tracker, and you'll be able to see the difference between, especially the 2 agilities and the 2 HPs. And you can even see it right now.
And we also see that the wolf had Dragon Lord Breath, which sent Ouijawii back to the start.
So really what they're looking for, I mean, 4 strength is one of those places where it's 50-50 to do damage to a ghost. So they're looking for slimes, really. Slimes are the only thing they're going to be able to, slimes and red slimes, are the only things they're going to be able to, reliably damage. So, and there we go. Ouijawii gets 1 done. So he's going to get a couple of ghosts to get to the next level. And hopefully we get a bunch of good stuff for the next level.
Yeah, as noted in chat, grew amount of hit points to be outside of that swamp.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you end up in that swamp range. You end up losing 2 hit points of damage. So with them only having some balance, that means that maybe 10 steps, and that'll do it.
So the good news is Ouijawii is only 1 experience point away from the next level. So if he can manage to take down this ghost before the ghost gets him, then he will get to the next level.
That is a big if, and nothing of healing of note here, and half of that 4 gold gets lost. Not that gold is anything of huge importance at the immediate moment, considering, well, I mean, they could get something in coal, but that would require them getting some gold to be able to do so.
Alright, and even still, the little gold you're going to get here, I mean, what are you going to get? Maybe a club? Maybe a bamboo pole? Oh, here's a red slime. He might be able to take down this red slime. As long as this red slime doesn't have anything. There we go. So this will get him to level 2. Let's see what we get.
Power of 1, response speed of 5, hit points of 9, no magic points, but the spell heal. So there is that.
Yeah, the spell. Yep, the spell heal is going to be able to get him, well, no, I don't know about through the swamp, but at least halfway through the swamp we hope.
is a hole, and well, we'll see. Looks like it might get him out of the swamp. Now, how much more he'll be able to do once he's out of there is the question, but he does have one more casting of heal, and we do see a cave, and that is the step. So our runners are going to be looking to find the silver harp and trade it into that old man to acquire the Staff of Rain, which at this point is the last of the 3 items needed to acquire the Rainbow Drop and take on the Dragon Lord, but they are nowhere near strong enough to do that. And we have another town to the south that Ouijawii has found, and it is the town of Rimeldar, which normally you'd be excited because that would mean purchasing keys, but you need a little bit more than 10 gold to be able to do that.
And Ouijawii's like, I'm going to bonk you with my fist, and then eats a fist upside the head.
And a golem sending Ouijawii back after that long trip, but at least a little bit gained. Will, yeah, looking to take on the ghost a little bit more. He did take out a red slime, looking to grind on those.
Looks like Ouijawii's going to do a little bit of grinding of his own, probably looking for ghosts and more red slimes.
And opting not to handle a Magidrake. Now, in this initial zone here, the potentially 5 of these 7 enemies that they'll see in this initial zone will be anything, I believe, from a slime, a red slime, a Drakey, a ghost, a magician, a Magidrake, or a scorpion, I believe. So any 5 of those 7 enemies can appear in that particular zone, as 5 enemies appear in a zone that is a 15 by 15 grid that does include water tiles, which they won't walk over.
And Ouijawii does find a ghost. Let's see. And with the heal spell, he should be able to take down the ghost.
Meanwhile, Will's still working on, trying to encounter an enemy. As this particular plane, it has a lower encounter rate than a lot of the rest of the tiles. So sometimes you can go a pretty lengthy run before encountering an enemy, and usually you're okay with that, especially in the later game. But now, not so much. And oh, there's a wolf! And it has Dragon Lord breath.
And, well, bye, wolf. And we're not going to see too much of them, because we'll either hurt more of them to death, or we'll run in the future.
So Will may want to stay to the right of the castle there, as he wasn't too far to the left, and all of a sudden that's where the wolf appeared, as the zone around Tanagel Castle, it isn't necessarily directly in the middle is the castle. Sometimes it can be on the very edge, so all it takes is a step down and to the left, and all of a sudden you're in a different zone, and who knows what that could be at that point. Well, actually it could be any of the next level of monsters all the way up to the wolf, which is the most dangerous of those. And Will now getting to level 2, about a little before 9 minutes here into this race, and is going to be thrilled to see the spell of heal. Is going to opt to stick around.
Oh, magicians have baby breath.
Yes, they do. They seem apt to cast it often.
Meanwhile, we've encountered some scorpions that look to have a 50-50 chance of doing stop spell or attack.
Yeah, so far here in the early going, a lot of treacherous enemies. But with such low strength, it kind of forces your hand to have to find the proper enemy to grind. Almost like a Chaos Seed, but not quite.
Yeah, Chaos Seed, the red slime, could give you 213 experience and 20 levels. Of course, those 20 levels could also net you 19 strength, so yeah.
It is hard to say, but at this point, Ouijawii is looking. He's only 3 experience away from level 3. The target number is going to be 17 experience, and Will, meanwhile, is 7 away. As they continue to work on these various enemies as we're getting close to level 3 here, let me tell you a little bit about both of our runners here. Now, Ouijawii, he is a speedrunner of NES games, including Punch-Out, RC Pro-Am, Kung Fu, and Dragon Warrior, among others. And he has lengthy back-and-forth battles with NES Cardinality for world records of different games, including the vanilla run of Dragon Warrior, as well as Wheel of Fortune as of late. And in the 2016 Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament, Ouijawii finished in a tie for 5th place, and last year finished in a tie for 13th. And Ouijawii is at level 3. We've got no power, 2 response speed, 1 hit point, and 3 magic points. Are you kidding?
So where's Empty Eye when you need him? Because that is a classic Empty Eye level. Absolutely nothing useful.
Which he sadistically enjoys, does Empty Eye. In fact, he loves it. Now, meanwhile, on Will's side here, as he's working on trying to take out this ghost here and also get up to level 3. This is actually his first tournament, and he had mentioned that his computer had bricked last week, so he's been preparing for the tournament by running around trying to get his old computer up and running. He is a musician, and you can look up his band's music under No One Says Eureka on Spotify and other things of that nature, as Will now going to level 3. And out of college, he was a professional wrestler, which we're definitely going to have to talk a little bit more about that, doing mostly charity and community events. And I'm curious to see his story about how he did get to fight a man dressed as a sandwich.
There are so many puns that we can make there, but I think we will refrain from making them.
Most certainly. He's never speedrun before, but he says he often gets his butt kicked by the Zelda 2 randomizer, and he hopes in this tournament to at least have one game with a sub 1 hour and 30-minute time.
No, I mean, frankly, a lot of people get their butts kicked by the Zelda 2 randomizer, so he's in good company there.
So Wagner going for an inexpensive purchase to try to get a little more defense. He has bought and equipped the Dragon Scale, so that adds 2 defense power to his total, which, given how low the defense is, every little bit certainly helps.
Yeah, exactly. It might give him a little more staying power against those ghosts and those scorpions once he starts finding them. So that's Naka's Vigil. That increases your defense power by 2. And then just as a follow-up here to what you were saying about Ouijawii and NES Cardinality going back and forth, Ouijawii currently does hold the record for vanilla Dragon Warrior speedrun. And if you haven't watched it, either him or NES Cardinality, both of their speedruns of Dragon Warrior are just phenomenal with all the step counting and all the manipulations they do. It's really fascinating watching, and they both gotten the record under 30 minutes, so it doesn't even take up that much of your time to watch it, and I highly recommend you watch it. And thank you for the raid, Randomania 2. We appreciate it muchly, and welcome to those of you coming from Random.
Yes, welcome to those of you coming in from the race between Tristal and Captain Green 7, and wow, from what I see here, that was a pretty close one, about a 2.5-minute differential between the two, Tristal getting the victory. Here we are just under 15 minutes in between WillWagnerMusic and Ouijawii alongside Seaman. I'm Ferran Burgundy. We're bringing you the action here on Randomania 3.
Yep, and just to catch you up, as you can see, not a whole lot has happened. We are grinding. We are insanely low in strength, so we have to do a little grinding in order to be able to do much of anything, and we're also swamp blocked to a certain extent. Leaving the swamp right now goes absolutely no place good. So we're just kind of waiting. Rimildar is down there, but Rimildar is also, in a nice advanced zone with golems that hit hard.
As far as items, the Stones of Sunlight were found in the throne room, along with the Fighter's Ring and the obligatory magic key. And the town to the east of the castle there was the town of Cole, and in the search spot was Erdrick's Token. So already 2/3 of the necessary items to acquire the Rainbow Drop to cross over into Charlotte Castle and take on the Dragon Lord have been found. But there's still a matter of finding that third one and also getting some armory, as at this point all they have is a ring on their finger and in Will's case a scale as well, but otherwise they're essentially streaking.
Yeah, and I wonder if Ouijawii is actually thinking until he got blocked by the NPC. I was wondering if he was actually thinking about going to get a scale himself.
Well, I wonder, did either of our runners even attempt to look at the weapon and armor shop in Cole?
The best thing they might be able to afford anytime soon was going to be a small shield for 90. Otherwise, I think there was a hand axe and some chainmail, but nothing they're going to be able to purchase anytime soon without getting a treasure chest.
Gotcha. That does limit the possibilities, to say the least.
Although that said, a small shield, if they can, save up the money for it, a small shield would be a good purchase at this point. Okay, all that to sell a fighter's ring. Maybe he thought he saw a club. That's the only thing I can think of, because that got him up over 60, and the club is 60. Or, JJ Schmidt brings up a really good point. It could be that he's prepping to make a run to Rimildar to go get keys.
Or go get singular, as the keys cost 53 gold in Rimildar, so 68, it only leaves you enough room for one.
Yeah, but if he is going to go get a key, that could be big, especially if, Erdrick's sword does wind up being in the treasury, or, a bunch of gold where, we can go buy, that hand axe that was there, some armor or something, do it like a slow grind maybe, if there's another magic key in the treasury.
It does lead to a number of different possibilities for sure. And thank you, Tristal, for the 1 bit. And congratulations on your victory over on Randomania 2.
It looks like we have Ouijawii at level 4. There's some power. Alright, we're good now. Power increase. Yay!
Alright, now we can start hitting some things. Okay, maybe not that thing, though.
But this certainly brings magicians and scorpions into play as reasonable kills now. So, let's see if he still goes down to Rimildar to get that key. I would imagine he will.
That looks to be the plan thus far.
Yeah, and he definitely has to save first, because he doesn't want to die in midway through the run and lose half that gold, because if he loses half the gold, he now forfeits the ability to get a key. So, if he dies, he'll just hit the reset button.
Which, that saves a few seconds of having to go through the death animation music, the death music, I should say, and then getting the scolding from the king. Saves a couple of seconds over just resetting and then getting the, hey, welcome back, you need this much experience to get to the next level. And there is that right in practice.
Yep.
As the Metal Scorpion hitting pretty hard. Now, those are enemies that you usually, at least in the vanilla game, you'd be taking on in the level 10, 11, maybe 12-ish range, and they're at level 4.
interesting thing to note, well, on both sides. Number one, on Will Wagner's side, Scorpions have Baby Breath as well as Stop Spell. And on Ouijawii side, Wolves, I'll go with that wonderful Dragon Lord 2 Breath, have Sleep.
Yeah, the Wombo combo of Sleep and Dragon Lord 2 Breath. So they're not able to get away. We might see a few instances of runners getting slept and wrecked.
Eliger Breath? Nope. Nope, the Fighter's Ring, once you don the Fighter's Ring, you keep that bonus forever. And same with the scale. Once you don the scale, you keep that bonus forever. So, and by the way, Eliger Breath, thank you very much for doing our tracking tonight. You're doing a wonderful job. We really appreciate it.
And we also appreciate the stats just about out of that red range, which is a feature I didn't know existed. I knew about the orange and green, letting us know that the totals were borderline and go mode for Dragon Lord 2, but I had not seen red until now, which basically means abysmal.
Yeah, I think the red means like below average or like really bad for that level. Alright, so let's see if Ouijawii can finally make it to Rimuldar on this shot. Well, might be able to run from the Droll.
Meanwhile, Will getting to level 5, and whoa, look at all those spells.
Oh, I missed it. What spells?
Well, he went from just having heal to having 6 of them, including heal more and hurt more.
Oh, wow.
It was up on the screen for a second, so I couldn't... there we go. I saw a little Radiant, I think, and Outside.
Real useful spells there, especially the heal and right now the hurt more spell. So now we're going to see some levels here, and we're probably going to see some exploration.
Plus the repel spell as well.
Oh, hi, Wolf. Oh, bye, Wolf. Ouijawii checking out the shop here in Rimuldar. Let's see what we have. Oh, look, a bamboo pole and clothes.
And not enough gold for both.
That's always such a great feeling.
But the bamboo pole supplying additional 2 attack power. So there is that.
So if Will can find Rimuldar here, he's actually going to be in position to get a whole bunch of heat.
Ooh, and a death for the from the Metal Scorpion, able to run away from the first Star Wyvern. The second one, not so much. He's got 2 hit points, and oh, that's going to do it. There goes half the gold, and back he goes. But now we'll see what Ouijawii is going to do with the key here.
Let's see what we have here in the treasury. Do we have some gold? You have a cursed belt? Well, you can sell that for gold. Torch. Jackpot! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a sword, and it's a big sword. It's a big stick.
So while there's no gold in the treasury, we do have Erdrick's Sword, which is the best weapon in the game. It will add 40 attack power to our runner's strength. So that plus the 2 from the Fighter's Ring, you can see in Ouijawii's side going from 17 strength to 59 attack power.
Oh, it looks like Will Wagner is basically like, you know, a couple of blocks away from being able to see Rimuldar, but he takes the other path, and he's not going to see Rimuldar at this point. That kind of hurts.
Oh, and he runs into another dead end here. So this could be interesting. Although who knows what he's going to find on the other side? Is Ouijawii now getting to level 5, so he's going to get the plethora of spells.
And Ouijawii at this point, all right. Erdrick's Sword, check. Hurtmore, check. Let's go.
Meanwhile, Will trying to conserve the MP as much as he can here, and realizes there's a dead end all that way here.
So, I think the only way they haven't explored would be east here, like kind of east where Ouijawii is. Otherwise, I'm wondering if this is one of those seeds where you have to go through the basement of Tantagel.
Oh, or this is a small continent to start off with, and everything else is on the other side?
Right.
Well, I believe there was an area to the west of Rimeldar that hadn't yet been explored. Because
was there?
Golem decided to punch Ouijawii into oblivion.
Looks like Will's going to pick up some more keys here. I think this is the first time. I'm sorry, this is the first time Will has seen Rimeldar, so he's actually going to buy keys.
That's correct. Meanwhile, 2, 6, 1, and 10 are the stat gains for level 7, or level 6 rather, I should say, and a Golem sniping and swiping at Ouijawii, and that's going to send him back to the start.
Yeah, this is certainly a slower starting seed, that's for sure. But it kind of has that feeling that we're finally getting some momentum in this seed now, so I'm wondering if the pace here is going to start to pick up quick.
We have an herb inside the Rimeldar chest. And Will, I was going to say, for a moment, Will not even bothering to check the weapon shop, but doubling back just in time to get trolled by an NPC. And with 4 gold, it's more of just browsing. No thanks, not just looking around.
Oh, here we go. It looks like south of Rimeldar might be a path. Noctis Vigil, the sword, was in the treasury of Tantagel.
And quickly up to level 7 goes Ouijawii, and the stats are marginal.
And Will Wagner, with no equipment, being able to take down a droll. That's nice. Oh, he finds another town and a cave.
6, 5, 1, and 1 for the level 7 stat gains, and the town is Cantlin, the proverbial shopping mall of Alifgard. And with no money to shop, right back out he goes.
So it'll be interesting to see if there are coordinates or not. If there are no coordinates given, that tells a lot about this seed once they get there. No coordinates given in the seed means that the Ardrick's armor has to be in Hawk's Nest, because the fairy flute can be in a chest in this version of the randomizer.
Yes, since one of these search spots has already been determined and was the Erdrick's token, so either the fairy flute or Erdrick's armor could be in the overworld spot, or it could be in the spike tile in Hawk's Nest, guarded by some nasty upper level enemy.
I mean, really, think about it. With Hurtmore, one of the better things that could happen in the seed is finding Hawk's Nest soon-ish and having an Axe Knight as the boss, because an Axe Knight has basically a 50-50 shot of going down to 1 Hurtmore. So that could be a really good way to... Well, good night, Will Wagner. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to see your fun police.
Yep, the Red Dragon, known in the Dragon Warrior community as the Fun Police, because when they show up, fun tends to stop, and in this case, wow, not only does it hit hard, but it has the spell of hurt more as well.
Now, Will Wagner's going to check out the treasury, and he's going to be delighted to find his big stick. We have a Ouijawii sighting. Alright, so it looks like Will Wagner is going to now go into the basement of Tantagel Castle. Let's see what we have here. Ouijawii up to level 8.
And I don't believe we saw earlier what was in the basement here. And 2, 1, 10, and 0, and the spell of sleep, I believe it is.
Given that you can only go right, I think this is the grave.
Might be.
Will, you have Radiant. Use Radiant. Which works too. Oh, nope, this is the tablet cave.
It's good that he didn't try bonking around there. So, the tablet cave, there are no enemy encounters, but there is one chest at the end of the path here as, Ouijawii getting slept and wrecked by a demon knight.
And at the bottom of Tangential, we have a torch. So, use a torch, get a torch. Yay!
What a return on investment.
So, looks like Ouijawii's about to do the same thing.
And I believe that also means that the likelihood of any kind of a gold grind is pretty much next to nil now. So as Ouijawii explores the tablet cave, that gives Will a chance to get some exploration in, and he finds the Staff of Rain cave. And it's going to check this whole swampland off to the east here, and wow, is it swampy.
I think somebody checked the big swamp option.
Is this High Spirits doing?
It has to be.
High Spirits, very big fan of the big swamp additional flag that you can put in a particular seed, but joking aside, both runners can opt to add an additional seed or something of that nature, additional flag to the seed, but that would be something mutually agreed upon, and that one that would not otherwise affect the game as far as the overall gameplay.
Right, exactly. The most common one you'll see enacted would be speed hacks, which kind of speeds up animations and speeds up text and everything. Just makes the game go a little bit more quickly. Game Boy F9 is a big fan of speed hacks.
My eyes, however, are not.
Oh, look, Hurtmore. Or Dragon. Oh boy, this could be a fun Sherlock dive.
Yeah. Oof.
Although that said, Hurtmore does lose some of its sting once you get Erdrick's armor, but they need that first.
We're a little ways away from that. Yeah, the Red Dragons were very police-like in the last seed that I commentated earlier, that quad race, as they had they were likely to cast Stop Spell and even more likely to use the Dragon Lord 2 Breath.
So let's see, is Ouijawii going to go for the coordinates? Well, he's certainly going for chainmail.
And just taking a look at what's going on in the mall, and gets the chainmail, so that's going to help a little bit with the defense.
Man, is Ouijawii going to have enough NP to make it?
To make it over there, probably, but to make it back, nope.
72 south and 47 west.
So if that, I think there may be a princess rescue in this seed.
Yeah, certainly if I see something like that, I would absolutely, first thing, go get that princess as soon as I find the swamp cave. Because to me, that's just, you can miscount so easily. Some coordinates like 72S, 47W, you can just miscount that so easily. So I would definitely look to go get the princess and get her Gwaylin positioning system.
Yeah, how that works is once you rescue the princess who is hidden in a cave by a guarded enemy, and you take her back to the castle, you get an item in your inventory that is Gwaylin's Love. And what that does is, well, it's twofold benefit. One, it lets you know how many experience you need to get to the next level. But more importantly, when you're on the overworld, she lets you know her position in relation to you. So if you look around and you see that her position in relation to you is 72 paces north and 47 paces east, then you know that you're in the spot that needs to be found, and you just search that spot.
Ouijawii to level 9. Solid level.
8, 4, 7, and 2, and another spell. I believe that was the hurt spell. Kind of anticlimactic at this point.
Yeah, more than a little.
So Ouijawii jumping out to almost a 500 experience lead, and ooh, Will using the hurt more, but it wasn't enough to take out the Star Wyvern, and back to the castle he goes.
Yeah, we're getting a little unlucky there.
Swamp there is, you'd think that our runners would try to make Erdrick's armor the top priority.
Yeah, that, and I'm a little surprised, given now that gold is definitely a thing in this seed, and, you know, that they do have access to Cantland. I'm surprised they haven't tried to buy, like, 6 herbs to try to save some of their magic to make this exploration go a little longer, so they don't have to heal with magic, and they can use their magic for Hurtmores.
Wow, and this Star Wyvern is just decimating Will every time he crosses that swamp.
This is one funky map. Because Ouijawii just kind of took a circuitous path from Charlock going east, south, and then back west, only to find a complete dead end. Looks like we have Ouijawii up to level 10. Oh, nice power, nice speed. And Will Wagner getting sent back to start again, unfortunately.
And I was just taking a look here. It looks like the things were swapped a little bit here. So the capital L actually is the strength agility build, and the lowercase d is the strength HP. They were flip-flopped on the thing. That's why the totals looked a little askew as far as the max hit points being higher on the chart than they were in the actual game. But that has since been corrected, so now the totals match what should efficiently be there.
Ah, okay. So L is strength agility.
Capital L is strength agility. That is correct.
Okay.
And the lowercase d is strength HP.
Interesting. Okay.
things you learn.
Where's that NBC is the more you know chime in the background? We need that.
I don't want to get I don't want to get copyright banged for it, so we're there. We'll just
well, exactly. So now that you have that in your head, insert that where when we were just talking. So where is everything in this sea? We've only found a few things.
A lot of chests still searched. I mean, there's the 3 in Garenham, there's the 5 in Garen's Grave, the 5 in the Mountain Cave, the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave. That right there is, what, 14 chests?
I think so. You're making me do math.
Don't worry, I'm on it. I've got it right in front of me here. That is correct.
Okay.
There's 30 total in the entire game, and so far only 8 have been opened. Or sorry, 9 have been opened. The 4 in the Treasury, the 3 in the Throne Room, the Tablet Cave, and the 1 in Remeldar. So, still 21 available. 7 of them are in Sharlock, so that leaves 14 left.
So it looks like Ouijawii is going to buy some herbs. And what was that cave that's south of Cantland here? Have you ever figured that out?
I don't think he got very far to get to that point. I think a golem or perhaps a red dragon might have knocked it back before we could find out.
Okay. Uh-oh, looks like... Yep, Will Wagner gets Wombo comboed. Sleeping Dragon Lord.
Slept and wrecked.
So I would imagine Ouijawii's gonna go into this cave right about now.
And it looks like the Mountain Cave.
Indeed it does.
There are 5 treasure chests in here. No keys or anything blocking them. It's just 1 on the upper floor and then 4 on the lower floor. And first the Scorpion is going to dodge the attack, cast a stop spell, and now get wrecked. And now we'll see what's in that chest. And it is empty.
So it's an herb.
Which means it was an herb, because whenever your either herbs or magic keys are maxed out, and you go take a chest that has it, it declares it as empty.
Alright, so let's show you what we have in this pair here. Finally, a gold chest. And wings.
Now 2 more chests to go. Another set of wings.
Well, Wagner looks like he's searching up... Go ahead.
1 more to go, and it's a magic key, so nothing really extravagant there.
And I think Will's getting into some new territory, maybe? I don't know if we've seen... Well, it doesn't really matter anyways. It's a dead end.
And Seiryu X noting in chat almost rather timely here with all those rock mountains that he is badly getting rock blocked.
A 1-tile passage looks like might open up west of Cantland. So what, do we call it the Sparkover Mountain Pass?
Well, we won't get to see what's along that path as a werewolf takes out Ouijawii and sends him back. Perhaps if there was a bridge to that path, we might name it after Sparkover.
So Ouijawii starting to build a bit of an experience lead here, getting it up to about, roughly 800, give or take, a couple here or there. So he's starting to get a pretty decent lead here.
Yeah, it looks to be that way, as passing Rimmeldar once again, and now heading on over toward Cantlin is Will. And now into it. And the Star Wyvern's really helping Ouijawii pull ahead, as now only a couple of hundred experience away from level 11. About 244. And here we have another 10. Oh, it's back to Rimmeldar.
Be interesting to see. I think a large shield was here, either here or in Cantlin. So it'll be interesting to see if he picks up a large shield, since it's highly unlikely that he's going to be able to pick up a silver shield.
Yeah, it looks like in this seed that the large shield is going to be the best bet, as it's 10 extra defense points as opposed to 20 for the silver shield, but cost differential, quite a large gap. 800 for the large shield versus 14,800 for the silver shield.
Yeah, 14,000 difference. Yeah, no big deal. If they actually had gold in the treasury, they could gold grind that, but they don't.
Nope. Oh, we got a pair of caves here, though. We have out of the one, and we've got the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave in the other, and that is going to bring us some more money.
Alright, so what do we have here? We have Swamp North.
This opens up a couple of possibilities, a potential princess rescue, a potential enemy grind, and who knows what is on the other path. But if he's not able to get away here, Ouijawii, that potential may be lost.
Yeah, right now he's praying for that Demon Knight to cast Hurt.
And he gets away.
Meanwhile, Will Wagner getting to the old man and getting his coordinates. Ouijawii getting pretty much assaulted at every turn in this cave.
Trying to at least see what that guardian is.
Oh boy, this is fun. This is fun.
So an Axe Knight usually has, give or take, around 60 hit points or so. I believe anywhere between 51 and 67. And usually the casting of Hurtmore does between 58 and 65 hit points of damage. So more often than not, you're going to one-shot an Axe Knight, and each one of those kills gets you 130 experience. So that is a way to quickly level up. That's something that Ouijawii is going to take a note of for later, but for now is going to go get the princess and bring her on back to the castle.
He's going to get that Gwalen positioning system so he can go find whatever it is that's on the overworld tile. So,
well, it's only going to be one of two different things.
So what do you think? What do you think, Farron? Is it going to be the fairy food or is it going to be the armor?
Given how far it is and given how trolly the seed has been already, I could very easily see it being the flute.
This is true, but we've seen an awful lot of vanilla Erdrick's armor already in this tournament. So I'm going to say it's Erdrick's armor on the overworld tile.
Yeah, and as I think about it, in the previous seed that I commentated earlier tonight, the overworld item was the fairy flute, so that would be a little too repetitious. Plus, you're more of an expert in having played this than I am, so I'll defer to your expertise and knowledge on this and say, sure, why not? Erdrick's armor in the overworld. Let's go for it.
We shall see. Alright, so is Ouijawii, is he gonna go head back, or is he just gonna try to, go as far south and west as he humanly can?
Well, that's certainly not the way to do it. I guess we're having a bit of a guesstimate, unless maybe he's not necessarily going for the overworld item right away.
It could be. But I don't think he's far enough south, though.
Which is what threw me for a little bit of a loop as well. Or maybe he's going back in... No, he's checking out this bridge off to the west here. So, opting to hold off on whatever that Wayland positioning system will bring. And instead, dealing with a golem.
Oh, I'm finding a town.
So let's see, what haven't we found yet? There's Breckenary, there's Garenham, there's Hawk's Nest.
And we have Garenham.
So that'll lead us to a stairway, but before it even does that, we also will have 3 additional treasure chests here.
So really what we're looking for right now is the Staff of Rain. Or, I'm sorry, the Silver Harp. Because we know where the Staff of Rain is, but we haven't seen the Rainbow Drop Cave yet, I don't believe.
No, although there could be a possibility that it is in the back here. And there's the Silver Harp. And the torch. He's giving up and trying to take the stairs to some gold.
So, Ouijawii has no reason to open up any other chest. And there's the Rainbow Drop Cave. So, yeah, Ouijawii has... I mean, if he finds Erdrick's armor on the overworld, then he's pretty much in just fine, you just grind and go.
It is entirely possible, so you have to wonder where the next step is for Ouijawii. Is it to trade in the... Now knowing where the Staff of Rain is it a matter of trading that in? Or is he going into... Well, we're in Swamp here. Oh, he's looking to get that grind on now.
Yeah, he's going to do some grinding. Will Wagner picking up some leather armor from Cantlin, so he's finally no longer naked. And a large shield.
Only one other race still going on at the moment, and going pretty deep in at this point. Probably, I would imagine, eclipsing the 2-hour mark is Angry Larry and Retro Omega X. Because they started around 10:15, a little over 2 hours ago.
Well, neither one of them are slouches for players, so that seed's got to be, I'm guessing, a level 18, 19, 20 seed. Alright, speaking of levels, here's level 12 for Ouijawii. And that's nice agility.
And more marginal stats. But as you can see, the agility and hit points on Ouijawii's side, that orange color means that it's borderline as far as potentially going for the Dragon Lord. Once you see it turn green, then you know that you're in an ideal range.
They're definitely borderline agility and HP for Dragon Lord, and that strength is just abysmal. For level 12 having 64 strength, I mean, you want that strength, ideally you want that strength up around 90 before you think about taking on the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, 106 attack power on the Dragon Lord is going to be about the equivalent of a fly buzzing on his arm.
It'd have to be a green fly because, you know, at least with an attack power of 106, you can do 1 to 2 damage to the Dragon Lord. So, you know, it has to sting a little, maybe like a mosquito.
Mosquito might not be a bad analogy. Pretty much, if Ouijawii were to go after the Dragon Lord now, each attack would be anywhere between 1 and 3 hit points, I believe.
Yeah, 1 to 3. I'm sorry, I can math.
It almost seemed too simple. I was like, wait, is that right?
Your attack power has to be 102 before you can even do any damage to the Dragon Lord. And even then, you do 1 damage.
So with a range of 150 to 165 hit points, you're looking at this point at an average of, if it's on the max there, you're looking at over 80 attacks. That's not happening.
So Ouijawii is far enough west, but he ain't nowhere near far enough south.
So casting Repel again and looking for more ways to go south, and ooh, nothing doing there.
At this point, Ouijawii's got to be thinking it's on the other side of that swamp cave. Or not. And the AK-47 makes its first appearance, the Armored Knight.
Well, it just seems to be hitting hard, but a hurt more in an attack is enough to take it out, and there's another 172 experience for Ouijawii. Now it's getting pretty close, 62 and 34, so another 10 or so south, and oh, but no way to go west. Interesting.
Yeah, at this point, I don't see how it's not on the other side of the swamp cave. Unless I just can't count. Which is possible.
No, I think there's a little bit of the name was unaccounted for. So back into the swamp cave we go. As an armored knight, the AK-47 taking out Will once again. Now, it's known as an AK-47 in the Dragon Warrior community because it pretty much hits like one.
Yeah, they are definitely Dragon Warriors' version of tanks. No, them and the Red Dragons. Those are the two tankiest enemies in the game. That, and I guess Stone Men are technically tanks because they got a high defense and they can hit you like a truck.
Would that make the Stone Man a Panzer?
Fair point. Fair point.
There you go, the Panzer tank. I'm getting it started now. Why not? I've had other fun contributions to the community here. Like the one person who loves Sixtown, better known as Breckenary.
Well, Ouijawii gets away from the fun police who's trying to block his access to whatever the overworld item is, Oh, that didn't work.
Can't quite escape the second one. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Still not able to get away, and another cast who hurt more.
At this point, you wanted to cast Hurt More, not Attack.
Yeah, that is the lesser of the two evils.
Alright, so we're looking for 72-47. 2 more up, and 1 to the west.
So close, and... okay, not so far.
Yeah, it's just underneath that S in search.
Just 2 down and 1 over, just like a knight's movement in chess. Oof, and a Star Wyvern giving Will some more trouble here.
Will and the Star Wyverns just are not getting along tonight. I mean, both of our runners have taken a fair number of deaths, but I'd wager to say most of Will's have been to Star Wyverns. And it is indeed Erdrick's armor on the overworld. So, the only thing that Ouijawii needs to find now is... no, he's found everything he needs. So now he just needs to trade in the harp for the staff. He knows where the rainbow drop is, and grind. So, Ouijawii is in fact in go mode at this point in time.
Or at least a little bit of grind and go mode.
Well, alright, grind and go, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely in grind and go mode at this point. And that death is actually a really good thing, because that Staff of Rain cave is right near the castle, if I do recall. Right by Cantlin, if I remember. No, not Cantlin. Rumbledar. No, wait, Cantlin.
Now we have a Magic Wyvern over on Will's side, and wow, the experience differential is almost double for Ouijawii, as 36 to, well, now almost 1900.
Ouijawii casting Repel to ward off some of the weaker enemies of the game. Oh, yep, there it is. It's right there. So now Ouijawii just needs to make his way over to Garenham, to the Rainbow Drop Cave, and he is gonna just do his grinding. So it's kind of fascinating that at this point, you know, Hawksness is not necessary, nor have we seen Hawksness. We have not seen Breckenary, and we have not seen the Grave of Garenham.
And they appear to not be needed in this seed.
Nope, the only thing that our runners might possibly be interested in would be the Death Necklace. You know, given their low strength and relatively high HP. But that's not something that you go diving dungeons for. If you find it along your way, oh happy day. But you don't go grinding for it.
Nah, with everything else going on, there's no need.
You know, and even worse, something worth noting here, even worse than our runners' strength stats are their MP stats. Their MP is terrible.
Yeah, that's going to have to come up a little while.
I mean, so this grind could take a while.
Well, this grind could be problematic, but it could also go pretty quickly with that Axe Knight.
Yeah, it's not going to be too much trouble doing the Axe Knight, and with a town right here, so that's not a terrible grind. it's just going to take some time.
Well, speaking of taking time, word coming in from the other Randomania network here, Angry Larry has won his race over Retro Omega X with an official SRL time on that one of 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 22 seconds. So that had to have been a beast of a seed.
Good God, that's a terrible seed.
I mean, usually, give or take, you see something in the hour and 30 minute, hour and 45 minute range. Anything more than 2 hours, you know that you had a rough seed. And similarly, anything quicker than an hour and 15 or even sub-hour, you know that it's a great seed.
Oh, and we're getting word from the other one that apparently one of the problems of that seed, that it did not have a good grind spot. Well, that does happen.
Sports Hefe also noting in chat, or a good anything, really. So
yeah, I mean, if it's a 2.5 hour seed, you're not finding good much of anything.
I'll have to go check that out later for the post-race interview with Angry Larry, because that, I think, alone is worth the price of admission.
I would imagine it would be colorful. And here's level 13 for Ouijawii. Finally, a little bit more power. And decent magic.
Now you see a lot more orange, so we're getting closer.
Yeah, but that strength isn't close. And we still need to see a good 17 more strength. Now, that said, the next level could get him there. I mean, because, a 13 level with 10 agility, 10 HP, and 10 MP, not impossible to see, but even with that MP, it's still sketchy.
Yeah, you're not getting all the way to the Dragon Lord with only 7 heal mores. Unless you have some redonkulous strength. There's a nice hit point gain for Will as he gets to level 11. Now he's up to the 100 hit point mark.
Yeah, so really what Will needs to do is he needs to get his butt to the west. Because to the west is where Garanham is, and Garanham has the harp and the Rainbow Drop Cave. And those are the only things he needs. Well, and the coordinates. Well, he has the coordinates. So he does need to go get Erdrick's armor, but west near Garanham is where the Swamp Cave is to get him over there.
I think the issue that he's run into is every time he has tried to go that way, there's been a Star Wyvern or some other enemy that has just sent him right back to start. And more of an on-the-field report from Sports Hefe here on the other. Grinding on golems and Sherlock, constantly using Fairy Flute to counter the golem's desire to put him to sleep. So I guess golems had sleep in that one. And got all the way up to level 18 before taking out the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, if golems have sleep, that's not a fun fight. Although the Fairy Flute is nice, but as soon as the golem wakes up, if he tries to put you to sleep, well, then all of a sudden you got rocks on your head.
And that's no fun either.
Ouijawii going back to his Axe Knight grind.
I think this looks to be the differential here as the efficiency of taking out certain enemies. Like right now, Will going after Drolls, going after Goldmen. I mean, at this point, more experienced runners would tend to avoid or just run away from those enemies because the amount of time it takes to take them on... Ooh, there's the Red Dragon sending him back. The amount of time that it takes to take those weaker enemies on versus the experience that's gained from it and the time lost... Usually, it's a better plan to just get away from those considerably weaker enemies that don't give you much in terms of experience and gold.
And that's where the repel spell comes into play, so you're not constantly getting those encounters that make you run away. So, yeah, I would think this is, a little bit of the inexperience here on Will Wagner's part showing by not. Oh, there we go. All right, so there we go. Adapting on the fly. That's a good characteristic. I like that. That's a good job.
Well, not bad for his tournament debut. See, he's showing signs of improvement and promise right off the bat. As here we go now to level 14 with 10 power, 2 speed, 9 hit points, and 11 magic points.
Well, we're getting near that borderline. We are definitely getting near.
Now it's the defense that looks to be considerably low. Is only with 70. I mean, that pretty much means any enemy that's in Charlotte Castle is going to still provide some decimation to Ouijawii, and that's why he's going right on with the grind and is going to continue on to try to get to level 15. And the target experience number for that is going to be 7,500, so a little less than 1,500 experience away from that, or about 11, maybe 12 Axe Knights.
And the other thing to pay attention to is, of course, the agility, which does determine your ability to run away from enemies. With an agility of 60, it helps some, but you're still not going to run. You're going to be blocked more often than not running from AK-47s and from Red Dragons. Though an enemy we have not yet seen in this game, to my knowledge, is the Blue Dragon.
I don't recall running into any, so who knows that they could be in Charlotte and they could certainly provide some trouble for Ouijawii, and that could turn things around and get Will right back into this here, but that experience gap is widening.
And while not really concerned for running, I don't think we've seen Stonemen either.
It seems like of all the enemies that are in Charlotte Castle, or potentially, the Stonemen just seem to be the least liked. Just because of how hard they are to take out. I mean, they have a minimum of 100 hit points, so you know you're taking at least a few attacks, or maybe throwing a hurt spell on them, but on the same token, they have almost 50-50 resistance to hurt. They're just not fun.
No, they are not pleasant at all. But the only thing they're good for is that you can reliably run away from them.
And they have they don't have the greatest sleep resistance, so you could theoretically put them to sleep and then run away.
Speaking of sleep... Oh, look, it's hurt. Ow.
And look, it's Breckenary. Woohoo!
Oh, look. Breckenary. Let me put my excited face on.
Well, while you do that, I'll go ahead and let you know that this is, I started calling this Six Town a little while ago because the inn that's in there, it's the least expensive inn throughout all the land at just 6 gold to recover all of your hit points and magic points.
I hope they at least keep it clean.
I would imagine so.
Meanwhile, Will getting up to level 12. And Will wandering around in the dark. Not quite sure where he is right now.
I think this might be well, at first glance I thought it might be the grave. He's over by Breckenary, which hadn't been found as of yet.
There we go. Now we'll be able to pick it out. And this is... Swamp Cave.
Oh, he's in the Swamp Cave.
So he came in from the south? How did he... All right, I'm officially confused.
Well, while Z-Man's confused, it looks like Will is going to open the door and grab himself a princess. As Ouijawii continues on the Axe Knights and is just one away now from level 15.
So is level 15 the magic level where we're looking to hit to go to the Dragon Lord? Let's see.
Power of 5, response speed of 15, 2 hit points and 5 magic points.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, the attack power is where you need it to be. 130, that's reasonable. HP is reasonable. It's the MP where you kind of fall short. I mean, you only have 9? 9 uses of heal more right now, and that's not going to get it done.
Not when you're attacking at a range of 7 to 15. That's an average of 11 per. No, the MP is going to be too low with that attack power. So plus the defense being as low as it is, I don't think that 15 is going to be the way to go.
I mean, it's theoretically possible if Ouijawii gets really good rolls, but I'm not sure it's quite 50-50 yet.
No, it is definitely high risk, high reward still to be able to go down at this point and make that dive into Sherlock.
And WillWagner giving the princess a tour of the world.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Oh wait, they don't have a carpet ride in this one.
Oh no, Will, go up, up, up. Other up. No, other up. That's not up. Will. There we go. See, now you're going up. And now you're going to find Garenham, and now you're going to get your harp. See, this is what happens when you listen to the commentators.
Very well said. Oh, we've got a metal slime on Ouijawii's part, but the metal slime ran away. Now with that 130 attack power, that would have been enough where it's a guaranteed 1 hit point for every attack. So almost in the range where you can start to one-shot those metal slimes, and, well, at that point, pretty much powerful enough to take on the Dragon Lord, so it's almost a moot point.
And at this point, I'd like to welcome those of you who have watched Angry Larry versus Retro Omega. Thank you, Randomania, for the raid. I am Z-Man050778 with Ferran Burgundy, commentating this race between Ouijawii and WillWagnerMusic. Ferran, why don't you give us a little bit of a, just kind of catch everybody up as to where we're at here in the race.
Most certainly. Well, for those who missed it there, as Will taking a bit of a misstep there and going all the way out of the town. Yeah, wow, rate of 42. That is awesome for those of you on Randomania, the main network, to come on over to here. The Stones of Sunlight were in the throne room initially. Erdrick's sword was in Tanagel's treasury, so that helped things go fairly early along the way. The silver harp was just found not too long ago in Garenham. And Erdrick's token was in the coal search spot. Meanwhile, the overworld search spot held Erdrick's armor, and it was pretty difficult coordinates. 72 south and 47 west, which is why both of our runners have rescued or are in the midst of rescuing, in Will's case, the princess.
Yep, and we are, Ouijawii has found everything that he needs to finish the seed, so he is grinding He is very much kind of on that borderline to being able to fight the Dragon Lord. So one more good level for Ouijawii, and he will be done. Meanwhile, Will Wagner needs to get back to the castle to return the princess for the GPS, and the Silver Harp Cave is right by the castle as well. So Will Wagner will be in grind and go mode very shortly as well.
And to answer the question in chat, as long as you have Erdrick's token, then the jerk in the Rainbow Drop Cave won't kick you out. He'll just tell you, he'll tell you that you basically need a little bit more here.
Azriel asks, where was the first key to get the treasury? Rimeldar was extraordinarily close to the castle, so once our runners grinded up, they couldn't really do anything much at the start, so they had to do a bunch of grinding on ghosts and scorpions and everything. So once they got some gold from that little bit of a grind there, they had enough to go get one key, and then it was off to the races. And Hurtmore came at level 5 in this seed. So, you had Erdrick's sword, and you had Hurtmore really quick, relatively quick in this seed. Although the initial grind did take some time. I don't think this seed really got off the ground for about half an hour.
In addition to those issues, the castle was fairly close to, as you can see here on Will Wagner's side, pretty close to Swamp Locked in the pretty beginning, or pretty early part of the beginning, I should say. So that prevented our runners from doing a lot of advancement apart from walking around on those plains and checking out what was in Cole just to the east of the castle.
And it does look like Ouijawii is in go mode. Looks like level 16 is the magic level. He is green across the board. His strength is really solid. His HP is just fine. Ouijawii shouldn't have a problem as long as he gets down to the Dragon Lord, with these 12 heal mars. Maybe 11. And Will Wagner with a bit of a mistake on his side. He died to an enemy with the princess in his arms. So he has to go back to the Swamp Cave to get the princess again. That's a bit of a time loss there.
Yes, Azriel, the overworld spot was Erdrick's armor. It was 72 south and 47 west.
And just to kind of give you an idea of the seed a little bit more, neither one of our runners has found the Grave of Garenham, and neither one of our runners has found Hawksness. So, and this map has been a little windy. There's been a lot of dead ends and a lot of peninsula type things on this map. So it really is kind of a little bit, you didn't have to go west of Garenham. So my guess is it's either west of Garenham or it's south of the South Swamp Cave entrance, I think.
I'm not sure, but Ouijawii is already into Charlock Castle and is, for all intents and purposes, ready to go here.
Azriel, the Erdrick's armor is on the other continent. So you do have to go through the Swamp Cave. So it's kind of a double dip required here of the Swamp Cave. You have to go into the Swamp Cave to get the princess, and then you have to go back to the castle to return the princess, to go back to the Swamp Cave to get to the armor.
A lot of back and forth and things of that nature.
And just to further your comment there, Azriel, about a gross starting section, if you wandered too far to the west of Cantagil Castle, you ran into wolves, who are normally, a mid-tier enemy, except when they have sleep and Dragonlord 2 breath, and aren't afraid to use either. So you really pretty much were, most of the runners were stuck in kind of a 4x10 grid of tiles just to get the ghosts and the red slimes to get a few levels, because their starting strength in the seed was 4. So they couldn't even take down a ghost at level 1.
And then even among the mix there, they were also running into magicians and scorpions that both had the baby breath. which was usually one-shotting them at that point. So here is Will getting Princess attempt number 2 here.
And hopefully he remember. I think Will still has some wings. There we go. Yeah, we actually made reference to Chaos Start way at the beginning. We mentioned that this struck us both as a Chaos Start type.
I think just because of the number of enemies with the baby dragon breath that did about 20 or so hit points of damage, and that's pretty much where they were in that beginning part of the seed, so they were getting one shot by enemies that wouldn't normally give them as much trouble, and then on top of it, having such low strength, it was hard to really whack at anything.
You know, and looking at Ouijawie's run through Charlotte Castle here, you know, let's just do it. I'm going to put the comment here, Jinxon, anyways. He's had a really nice run through Charlotte.
It has been very swift thus far. Able to get away from quite a few of the enemies here, and a lot of green dragons here on the lower level. And some golems as well. He's able to outrun all of them, and now we've got the Guardian, which is the Red Dragon, the Fun Police.
Which isn't terrible. He should be able to take him down in 3 or 4 hits. Uh-oh.
Red Dragons have heal more.
Uh-oh. Well, one stop spell takes care of that, but now he's down to 11 heal mores. Oh, jeez, and a stop spell? What the heck is going on here?
Well, no, Ouijawie's stop spell's not having effect on the Red Dragon.
Oh, well, this is a problem.
Which is just some bad rolls for the most part, as the stop spell resistance for a Red Dragon is about 50-50. It's a 7 out of 16 resistance.
This is insane. I don't think I've ever seen a Red Dragon resist stop spell as much.
To this degree, I mean, each time you're casting it, you've got about a 56% chance of hitting.
Oh my.
Oh, and the Kaishin Negata, that excellent dodge in a sense. The critical hit that got, or the critical dodge, I guess is another way of putting it.
Oh, that is just brutal.
Well, Up10G noting that he thinks that stop spell resist is randomized, but I thought that was in chaos only. In chaos, you can have those resistances randomized, but not so much here in standard. I believe that those stats are all standard for the enemies.
So, Ouijawii went from a really nice Sherlock dive to, uh-oh, real quick.
We have the Dragon Lord here, and a double attack to get things started off, so already 24 on the Dragon Lord. But yeah, the resources are low, so now another 16, that brings it up to 40. But
And
5 more left.
And McGrew, the creator of the randomizer, noting in chat that stop spell resist is indeed randomized.
We're up to 70, I believe, here. And another 10 for 80. It's getting there. Now we're at 95. Oh, but he went for it on 48.
So this is going to be an interesting decision he has here. He's not far from level 17, which should be... I mean, if he gets a halfway decent level, that's not bad at all. So I'm wondering if he might consider grinding up to the next level. Maybe on his way down.
Perhaps, and doing a little bit of research here, yeah, I do see the randomization. So the red dragon has in this seed an 11 out of 16 resistance to stop spell. So you're looking at a little less than a third chance every time you were casting it. And Sports Hefe noting in chat that he had to take that swing, and yeah, given the low amount of heal mores that he had, that was a calculated risk. It just didn't pay off, as it was that 1 in 8 chance of getting the max roll, or the 1 in 4 chance, I should say. So the odds were in his favor. It just, he went against the odds in that case, or the odds went against him, and that sent him back.
Now, Will, it looks like, is going to head over to Garenham to get his rainbow drop, and he will be on grind and go mode himself.
Except there is a lot of grinding for Will to do at this point, being at level 13. And trailing in experience by quite a bit.
The experience gap is 5,200. That is a massive gap. Basically, what he has to do, what Will Wagner has to do, is go to level 17 and hope Ouijawii stumbles a few more times and doesn't get the Dragon Lord and doesn't go to level 17 and is stubborn. I mean, that's really what Will has to hope for at this point.
Well, Ouijawii having to burn a heal more there on that Armored Knight. So now only down to 11 as he makes his way to the first basement of Sharlock.
But that is 11 on the number, and chances are he's going to have to burn a heal more or a stop spell on the Red Dragon Guardian. So he's not going to have that 11. He's probably going to have closer to 9 or 10, which kind of puts him right in the spot he was before.
So at what point, if you're Ouijawii, do you think, maybe I have to grind up to 17? Maybe I need to get that remaining 1,800 experience or so to get to level 17, to get to that 12,000 experience mark.
I'm typically a more conservative player, so when I would have seen that, 1,700 number or whatever it was, I would have went and got it right then and there. For Ouijawii, a lot more of an experienced player than me, I would think that probably if this run doesn't work, then maybe you go to 17.
But for now, he figures, all right, let me give it one more good old college try here and see what happens.
Will Wagner is doing the same grind as Ouijawii. He is doing the Axe Knight grind in the Swamp Cave.
And an interesting point that Azrael Ravenheart brings up in chat in that because of the different builds, with Will having the strength HP build, that there might be a possibility to go at level 16.
It's going to be dependent on MP, because I think MP right now, in my opinion, maybe I'm a little nuts, but I think MP is the stat right now that is kind of, it's the quote-unquote limiting reagent, sorry, chemistry professor coming through, of the stats. The MP, in my opinion, is what's limiting this build right now. I think Will's going to wind up with just about the same MP at level 16, so I think they need another 8 MP. They need one more heal more, I think, to feel safe. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, the additional hit points, all that may do is save them from, or save Will from using a heal more a little bit more frequently, but how much more frequently, that's the $64,000 question.
Alright, I think Ouijawii's got this one. He got through the Red Dragon without the Red Dragon using a heal more, so this should do it, I think.
He has 4 herbs, he's maxed out here. He needs to hold B, that's very important. Say no, and he does.
And he gets a really nice DL1. Now, two stop spells and an attack.
That is very generous as we make our way to Dragon Lord 2. No back attack, starting with 15. And a double attack, another 12 to make it 27.
So as long as Ouijawii gets average rolls, I think he should be able to take down the Dragon Lord.
Now up to 41. As the attacks do anywhere from 8 to 16 each time. And there's a max roll of 16, so that's up to 57. And another 13 makes 70. And he's able to get the double attack, so that's now 81. And he still has 7 heal mores left.
Yeah, unless he gets really terrible rolls from here on out. And that's you know, fire breath attacks and his own attacks. I think he's got this.
Well, that 9 there is his first single-digit attack thus far. He's up to 100 even. Now 111. Down to 4 heal mores. Another 12, that makes it 123. The Dragon Lord, remember, having between 150 and 165. Another max roll of 16, so that's 139. Pending a miss key here, he's got this. 154, so the next attack, unless it's minimum roll, should do it.
There we go.
And the 15, almost max, that is going to exceed the max. And that is going to give it to Ouija here, who will go to 1-0 in the first round of the 5 Swiss rounds of this tournament. So get out your GGs in chat for Ouijawii, who is going to win this race here tonight with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 19 seconds.
And with that chime, I do think we do have Ouijawii joining us in chat. Ouijawii, good game, my friend. Nicely done.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was an interesting scene. I liked it.
Yeah, tell us a little bit what you thought of the beginning of the seed, because it seemed like, to me, it seemed like the seed had a bit of a false start. It just had a trouble getting going. And with that,
Yeah,
Chapman, I
saw
do
had
think we
4
do
strength to
have
start with,
Ouijawii
but
joining us
luckily,
in chat.
fighters
Ouijawii, good
so,
game, my friend.
we were
Nicely
able
done.
to kill some of the lower tier enemies. There was a red slime and a ghost. I think I got really lucky killing that ghost for my first kill. I got an
Yeah, tell us a little bit what you thought of the beginning of the seed, because it seemed like, to me, it seemed like the seed had a bit of a
it took
false start. It
starting.
just had a trouble. Yeah, but once you got out of the starting zone, then you had Rimildar right close by, and once you could work up enough money to get a key, well, then the seed opened wide, because then you had the Erdrick's sword in the treasury, and then heal, hurt and heal more at level 5. Okay, now you're off to the races.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad I did a little exploring at the start, because I found Rimildar really early, and I'm like, okay, so when I have enough money, I can get a key there. But for some reason, I thought there was a club in the town next to the castle there. And when I realized there was no club there, I said, well, let's just get a key and hope that Erdrick's sword is in the treasury. And luckily it was. And then as soon as I started slaying enemies with that, Hurt More and Heal More opened up, and the game became a lot of fun. You were able to explore everywhere you wanted to and kill just about anything you wanted to. So these are my favorite type of seeds, honestly, where you get the keys early and Hurt More and Heal More early, and it just becomes, a straight race. That's how this one felt. Even though it wasn't very easy, it was still just a very good seed to play, and the ending was not easy either. That red dragon at the end, oh my god, stop spell would not work on him at all.
Yeah, it actually turned out that the stop spell resistance was in fact randomized on this guy to 11 out of 16, and you were just having no luck getting it to stick. So we were actually wondering if you were, because you were only about 1,000 experience points, give or take, away from level 17. If you didn't get the Dragon Lord on that trip down, would you have leveled up, or were you going to go again?
No, I was done. I had the stats I needed. All I needed to do was get past that red dragon and then not get like a 48 breath in my face when I had 48 health, and would have been fine. I think the odds very favorably were in my favor. So I just needed to try again. Once I died, I figured we would win the second attempt there, and luckily we did.
Yeah, I think you even had 1 or 2 heal more to spare, so it wasn't. You certainly had the strength you needed, and you certainly had some nice agility at the end, so you could run away from most everything. You had a couple of smooth trips through Sherlock.
Yeah, that's one reason I like the agility seed. Not only does it give you a better chance to run, but it gives you a little bit more armor. And I think I was defense breaking Magic Wyverns and Axe Knights, whereas like if I would have gone for hit points instead of agility or hit points and strength, then I'm not sure I would have been able to defense break them or run so easily. So it's just a different strategy going for agility, but I've always believed since the beginning of the randomizers that agility is the stronger way to go, especially late game.
Yeah, and just to kind of add, if I don't think you have the stream up, but at level 16 you finished with 94 agility. Will Wagner right now is doing a strength HP build as at level 15 and has 70 agility. So that is making a ginormous difference between the two of you.
Yeah, that is huge. I think we gained a lot of agility going into the last level there. I think it was level 16.
I want to say it was a 21 gain or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty big, but he's probably going to be 6 or 7 behind me. And even though it doesn't sound like a lot, it actually is when you're talking about defense breaking. Defense breaking is when your agility pushes your defense to the level where the enemy can't hurt you, or when he does hurt you, it's for 0 or 1 or 2. Whereas if it were just 1 or 2 lower, then the enemy would be hitting you for 16 or 17 or 18. So it makes a big difference when you're trying to go down to fight the Dragon Lord. And you can't run from enemies because your agility's lower. You're getting hit more for more damage. Yeah, I think I lucked out a bit going for an agility build in this scene, like no doubt.
Yeah, that extra agility certainly helped you out, and having lower HP certainly didn't seem like it was much of a bother for you. We don't like a little more against that, red dragon at the end, or Dragon Lord, of course, but it wasn't really much of a hindrance. So you had a little rough start, but once you got this seed going, it really wasn't too bad at all. I mean, neither one of you found Hawk's Nest.
Oh, I never saw it.
And neither one of you found the Grave of Garenham.
Not that either.
And you didn't find Breckenary, even though Will Wagner did. Breckenary was like 2 tiles. If you go 2 tiles south of the Swamp Cave, you would have found it. But you didn't need to go south because you were going north.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. No, that Breckenary is like the useless town in this game, basically. The only thing it's good for is maybe it'll give you something that you can buy, but other than that.
Cheap in is not, not terrible.
True.
He's just flattering me because I'm here. He knows how much how I give Breckenary the love that nobody else does.
Thuron, do you have anything for Ouijawii? Well,
I guess I know that we were having some technical issues in the beginning. I guess what was going through your mind? Was there any anxiety prior to the start? Kind of a restlessness, kind of waiting for things to kick off as we dealt with the technical issues?
Not for me, because tonight was a day of drinking for me. I'm pretty drunk. But as it took the race to get going, I was just drinking and listening to music, and by the time it started, I was probably already a little tipsy. This is all just in good fun for me.
So your strategy here is similar to Late Learner in the Super Mario Land 2 randomizer community. That was a joke from a little bit ago, as he had a pretty high-profile race and had come in from a night out with some friends and a few imbibements, and apparently that made him perform better than usual. And he's already one of the top in that community.
It's supposed to hinder your performance, but sometimes I'm not so sure. Overall today, I think I played pretty well. Speedrunning this game really does help when you're clearing text boxes, and it's those little things that add up in the end. I think, like after you die and you're talking to the king, and it's time to leave. The little things, to me, really do make a big difference in the end, especially in racing, because I've had races where I've lost by 5 seconds or 6 seconds. Just things like, casting the return spell after you died to get out of the castle instead of walking out, or just clearing text boxes faster. It really does make a big difference in the end, I think.
Well, now you go to 1-0 here in the Swiss round, or after the first Swiss round, and certainly a nice bit of momentum, as 3 will get you in and 4 or 5 will get you a bye, so that's certainly a good way to go. But those who fell behind here in this one, not necessarily out of it, as they could just as easily run the table over the course of the next 4 weeks, and next thing you know, they're 4-1 and they've got a bye into the second round of the single elimination tournament.
I really do like the format this time, where we have at least, I think, 5 matches, correct, for the first round?
Correct. There will be 5 Swiss-style matches for those who missed the introduction to the tournament. So there'll be 5 Swiss rounds. Those who have a record of 3-2 or better will automatically move to the bracket stage. Those who have 4 or 5 wins will automatically get a bye into the second round. And those who are 2-3, there will be a last chance play-in to even the field to, I believe it's 24 runners. And that way, I believe it's the top 8, I think, are the ones who get the byes into the second round. But then once it gets down to the semifinals, that as well as the finals will be a best of 3. But that's still a couple of months away here, as we have plenty more action coming your way among the Randomania networks, just in this first round alone. I mean, as you saw here, this is the final of a 6-pack to follow along with Ouijawie's mentality here. A 6-pack of races, and we've got more coming up tomorrow night, including At 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got Tyrant X against Game Boy F9, one of the former champions here, actually the defending champion from last year. And another interesting match coming up at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow, where it's going to be a battle of my respective co-commentators this evening. As Z-Man, you'll be taking on Sparkover.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Sparkover's a friend of mine. I'm just looking forward to just racing her and just having a good time doing it. And it should be a close race between the two of us. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Also at 9 p.m. Eastern, it looks like we've got Up to NG taking on BTs. And apparently deep tomorrow night into Thursday morning, if I'm reading this right, 2 a.m. Thursday morning, a couple of overnighters in their own right, Jay Coper taking on Zarnax 42. I don't think I'll be around to commentate that one, I'll be honest, folks.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I mean, those last three matches, myself and Sparkover, up to NG and
BTs.
Thank you. My brain just absolutely collapsed right there. And Jay Coper and Zarnax 42. Those should be some excellent races. So I really hope y'all do tune into them. They should really be great races.
And then outside of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament, also set up tomorrow, it looks like at 8 p.m. Eastern, there is the Mutants and Masterminds. That's the weekly series that's been going on with the administrators of the Randomania networks. And I don't know what the result was earlier this evening, but if it ended up being tied, the rubber match would be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern in the best of three between Edgeworth and Salty Fry in Final Fantasy Randomizer action. And all that's just tomorrow. There's a whole bunch more among the Randomania networks, and Chad is telling me there is no third match, that it was a 2-0 shutout, and Edgeworth is going to the finals, so congrats to Edgeworth on that. Yeah, they had it as a fill-in, but again, it was pending the results, and since I hadn't heard the results until now, had no clue what was going on. So no third fall in the best 2 out of 3 falls because of the 2-0 sweep. So there that is, but certainly no sweeps here, as Will Wagner is continuing to make his way through and is back in Cantlin. Ouijawii, any other thoughts here before we, make our way back to Will here?
Not really. I mean, the seed, I felt like I only explored about 25% of the map. Everything was just right there. I actually like that, because when the map gets too big, I forget where to go. But with this one, it was pretty simple. So I'm glad that we had something. I haven't played this game in a couple months. I've done some offline stuff here. It's nice when you get a seed where it's easy to remember where things are. It really helps.
And not having to double back multiple times and go, oh, what's this cave? Oh, okay, it's the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave. And
exactly.
later,
I never
cave?
did that
once.
once.
The Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave. Did a few seeds where that's happened, and I've done a few seeds where that's happened. So it looks like Will is back into Charlotte Castle. Ouijawii, congratulations. As I was going to say, if you need to get rolling, I know it's getting pretty deep into the night here. At least here on the East Coast.
I'm definitely heading to bed really soon.
I think that makes close to the contingency here, but we're going to be sticking at least for the interim as Will Wagner looking to finish up, as he's now up to level 16. And you can see the little bit of differential as the agility difference of 7, only 87 agility, but the hit points 10 more than what Ouijawii had, as he's up to 128 max hit points. So that's where the differentiation of the builds comes into play, as, let's see, which is better, that extra 7 agility or having 10 extra hit points instead?
about if your defense breaking some of the enemies on the way down? I mean, that's the most important thing on this.
Yeah, and at the 84 defense that Will is listed as, that pretty much means of the potential Sherlock enemies, the only one that he's defense breaking is a wizard. Everything else is not quite enough. And having less than 86 defense, that means that he'll have to worry about the potential of Dragon Lord 2 attacking for 49 hit points. So there's pros and cons to both, but looks like Will is going to go and make another dive here.
Yep, and if he gets down there with enough MP, he should be able to take down the Dragon Lord, but he's taking on some extra battles. I guess he wants another level on his way down.
Well, he's going to have to do a little bit more battling to get there. That target number to get to level 17 is 12,000, and right now he's at 10,300 and change, so he's got about 1,600 and change to go. So Will now midway through Sherlock Castle. And just fighting along the way, but you can see 12 hit points. Not too bad of damage with a Star Wyvern. Once they're damage broken, the most that can be done as far as damage by a Star Wyvern is 15, and the least would be 0. Similar to the Green Dragon, same thing. It looks like anything up to 16 would be the case if he was able to, or 15 rather, if he was able to damage break him, but otherwise you see it attacking in the 20s. And another herb here as we're closing in. So it looks like the sub 2 hour seed for Will not likely going to occur here.
Yeah, but as long as he can get past this red dragon upcoming, should be okay.
It looks like the story for Will was some rough luck in the early to mid game, as constantly running into a gauntlet of Star Wyverns and other enemies that just kept sending him back to the beginning and impeding his progress.
Yeah, that really was kind of the story of the mid game, as you would say. It's just he just kept running into brick wall after brick wall of Star Wyverns. This really wasn't. It was unfortunate. He got some bad RNG.
And now Will finding out that the stop spells are not exactly effective. And now having to burn a heal more, so he's down to 9.
Now burning a stop spell, that puts him down to 8.
Oh, and he runs away and pulls a Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Perhaps looking to just fight and try to level up to 17, although he's still got another just over 1,000 hit point or experience points to get there.
Yeah, he already raided the treasury up to no good, so I'm thinking that the death necklace is probably in the grave of Garen at this point. In fact, I think it kind of has to be.
Either that or it's in the vanilla Erdrick sword spot.
Yeah, that's true.
But even still, the death necklace with 128, that's pretty risky.
So it looks like he's wandering this hallway. It definitely looks like he's grinding.
But even if he whacks his way up to level 17, he's not going to have the magic point resources to give Dragon Lord a go. And up to NG making a good point in chat. If he's going to be doing this, he may as well go up and check the vanilla chest just for posterity if he's going to just be wandering around and fighting enemies anyway.
Yeah, maybe the death necklace is in there and might give him some extra attack, but you're right. At 128, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use the death necklace.
However, he is only 271 experience away from level 17. For all we know, there could be a 19-point hit point boost at level 17. Or it could be 1.
Or it could even be 0 for Empty Eye.
That is possible as well. So now the green dragon gonna put Will just shy of... Oh, wow. Just shy by 1 experience point. Maybe he was looking for a blue slime to put it right at the 12,000 mark.
All right,
let's see what 17 brings. We've got power of 4, 1 response speed, 2 hit points, and 6 magic points. Whoopee. Now you can put your excited face on, Z-Man.
It never left once we found Breckenary.
Well then.
Well, I mean, he's going to restock on herbs, go to an inn, and try it again.
With that 1 gain of response speed or agility, that has 0 effect on the defense. So still dealing with that 84 defense. But as up to NG notes in chat that it makes the attack power to MP ratio a lot better. As while that doesn't give another heal more necessarily, it does give a couple of heals that can be used on the way down, and at 4 attack power, bumping things up to 137. So that just tweaks the range just a little bit, as now instead of 8 to 16, it's now 9 to 18. So that almost guarantees double-digit attacks with each swipe.
So, random thought I just had with him still, fighting enemies and not running from them. Is he grinding the old-fashioned way for the Silver Shield?
I mean, he hasn't taken death, and he's up to over 10,000 gold.
And he's running from golems, right? And golems give you no gold.
Well, now he's running from enemies here. Well, he's running from everything that's not the Armored Knight. This is an interesting strategy.
He doesn't get away from a werewolf. That kind of sucks.
Well, again, with the defense being that low, it's actually he's not able to damage break a werewolf, so that lowers his chances of getting away from one trying to run away from it. And yes, he did purchase or replenish his herbs.
Maybe he thinks he can't run from the Armored Knights yet. And figures it's quicker to attack them than run and fail?
There is some sound strategy to that.
Now that's a strategy that you learn in the Chaos mode. And because as you get down in Sherlock, it becomes more and more difficult to run from enemies. So I'm wondering if he has some experience with the Chaos mode.
It is entirely possible. Although he's kind of picking and choosing his spots. And doing so pretty decently. Now into Sherlock Deeper we go. As Will kind of selectively taking on certain enemies, and the werewolf apparently is going to be one of them here. And a nice critical hit. And hitting the green dragon for 50.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get to the Dragon Lord with only using, one or two heal mores, he's going to have a really good chance here. I mean, because an attack power of 137, that's 9 to 18.
9 to 18.
Yeah.
Well, here's the floor of truth and right into a golem to get things started here on the 7th basement of Sherlock Castle.
So I wonder if Will learned from his last time against the Red Dragon is just going to, beat him to death with that big stick, and hopefully he never sees heal more, just like Ouijawii did on his successful dive down.
Well, here we go. Now he's going for stop spell again. And he got it!
Oh, that makes this simple.
He's prone to cast it pretty often.
Wow.
So here he
nice.
Escaped, and he does.
Very nice. All right, here we go.
Oh, except for this green dragon getting in the way.
All right, hold B, Will, hold. Hi.
I think he's trying to grind to 18. Or maybe he's trying to walk up some health.
That
But
could be.
he's only about 811 experience away from level 18. I think he might be trying to get it.
Either that, or like you said, he's walking up health. Maybe he's trying to kind of do both at the same time.
Well, he was 4 off the max before encountering that Axe Knight. And he's at max 130 there. I think he's trying to grind to 18.
He's got to be grinding to 18. And that's what, 14.5 or 14.250?
That is 14,250.
Okay.
So he's 5, maybe 600 away.
And this is actually not a bad grind spot right here. If he's running into golems, green dragons, and axe knights, I mean, yeah, the golem can hit him hard, but he's running away from them. And the green dragons and axe knights aren't doing that much damage. This isn't that bad of a grind spot right here.
Well, the green dragons, he hasn't damage broken them, but he's pretty close. So the damage is fairly minimal. But it's a little bit more consistent with a certain range, as opposed to just X number and below.
So this one and one more green dragon should do it, I think. Maybe?
Just
short again. My goodness. What's it going to be? 6 short this time?
Yep.
1 short his last level, 6 short this time. That's ridiculous.
They're using a couple of herbs. Maybe he figures that this will be the one where there's just this insane power gain, and all of a sudden he's going to have 152 or something like that attack power.
Well, I mean, we only saw really one big attack jump, so you got to figure one's coming soon.
Well, we shall find out now. Oh, power of 1, response speed of 8, hit points of 6. So now that puts his defense at 88, and I think it's go time.
All right, so... Oh, but that 1 strength gets him up to... that gets him up to 10 to 19. Wait. No, 9 to 19. 9 to 19. Well, that was a mauling. All right, Will, you got this, bud.
We've got a Dragon Lord Breath preliminary attack, but look at that, hitting for 19 right off the bat.
As long as he doesn't fat finger one of the menus, he should be okay. Look at that, 27 damage by the Dragon Lord.
And 17 the other way, so it's now 36. 51.
Oh, look at this RNG he's getting. The Dragon Lord just keeps attacking.
And for low, too. There's 78. Well, there's a Dragon Lord Breath. 91. He went for it on 49, and the gamble paid off.
I'm kind of thinking all the crap RNG he got at the beginning of the game is now kind of coming back to him on this fight, because Dragon Lord just keeps attacking and Will is just pounding this guy.
Just a little bit of obliteration. I believe we're at 144. I lost it somewhere along the way here.
So this should do it.
And it does.
Yep, and it does.
So now here comes the victory promenade. And that is going to do it. So get out your GGs for WillWagnerMusic, who is going to finish his first ever tournament race, trailing a little bit, but certainly with a lot of room to grow, with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 1 second.
And, for this being his first tournament race, or really, I think this, first race in general, he did a really good job. I got to say that, he stuck through it, got some terrible RNG there with the Star Wyverns in the middle there, but, powered through it and really did a good job. Got to say, props to him.
We'll see if Will will want to join us here, although given how late it is, I certainly can't blame him if he opts to pass.
He said he'll be here in a minute. He's just got to take care of something quick, and he'll be right here, he said.
Oh, fantastic.
So now might be a good time again to kind of go over the schedule for tomorrow again, just in case anybody didn't hear it at first, and then we'll interview Will and be on our way.
Yeah, we'll go from there. So we've got quite a bit going on just even tomorrow here among the Randomania networks, including a trifecta in the evening time of tournament races, including at 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, or I guess today here on the East Coast. You've got Game Boy F9 against Tyrannex, and then at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, you've got Sparkover taking on my broadcast partner here, Z-Man. And at 9 o'clock, it is Up to NG taking on BTs. And then something that threw me for a little bit of a loop, going tomorrow night into Thursday morning at right around this time at 2 a.m. So, oh goodness, about 24 hours from now, it's going to be Jay Coper against Zarnax 42.
While we are waiting here, we want to thank the behind-the-scenes crew. We want to thank Yanni Man for doing the restreaming, doing a fantastic work with tonight's races. I know he restreamed several of tonight's races. And Eller Jabrap for doing some great work on the tracker. Thank you guys both very much. Great job.
Yes, greatly appreciated. And yeah, it takes a lot of production behind the scenes to make everything look good in front of the scenes here. And they're the unsung heroes, so we try to sing for them a little bit here, or sing towards them, because they definitely deserve the praise and then some. So make sure to give them a follow. Make sure to give our runners the follow. Also tomorrow on Randomania, outside of the tournament here, we've got the Mutants and Mastermind that has become a Wednesday weekly series hosted by the administrators of the administrative staff of Randomania, I should say, Mutants and Masterminds Bay City Chronicles. And then also coming up, we've got more tournament action over the course of the next few nights here, including Thursday night at 9 o'clock. It's going to be Tilo Tilo against Nest Cardinality. That should be a goodie. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, it's going to be Silverfire taking on Keaton 619. Wow. And then looks like we have 3 tournament matches scheduled Friday night, as well as another on Saturday night. And we'll get more into that as the week goes on here in the first of the Swiss round matchups here in this Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. The first of 5 Swiss round matches. And then those with a record of 3-2 or better with 3 or more wins, they'll be in the tournament, and those with 4 or 5 wins will get a first round bye. And the 2 and 3 runners, well, they'll have a last chance, one last chance race to fill in the remaining parts of the bracket to get to the bracket stage, where it'll be single elimination up until the semifinals, and the semifinals as well as the finals will be a best of 3. And tonight certainly has had more than a bit of action, to say the least. And what a way to cap things off. For those who missed them earlier, I don't know. Do I want to give? Should I give a spoiler alert in this case? As far as
I think
earlier.
Yeah, I think what you can do is say spoiler alert and then count down from like 5, and then we can talk about the results from earlier tonight.
Okay, well, I think, have we given enough of a warning of a spoiler alert at this point, just in us discussing the spoiler alert?
Just to be safe. There are spoilers coming now. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, that's a sufficient 5 count. So in the opening matchup here, it looks like Ryu Station had defeated Eternal Newbie. Just a little over 4 minutes. So it was a pretty close race. That both were sub 90-minute races. And then you had the quad match, which I had commentated earlier tonight alongside Sparkover, and that saw Azrael Ravenheart defeat Amazing Toaster by about 5.5 minutes. Both of those were sub 90 minutes as well. And then Centroid taking on It's Too Early. Centroid was the victor there. Just about an hour 23.5 minutes to It's Too Early's an hour 33:04. And then over on the other networks, a little bit later this evening, I should say, you had Tristal defeating Captain Green 7 by about 2.5 minutes. That was a really close race. And in a really rough race that occurred over on, I believe that was Randomania, the main Randomania network. Angry Larry taking on an Amazing Seed, Retro Omega X, and winning in just under 2.5 hours. And Retro Omega ended up forfeiting that particular match. So there's the recap of everything that occurred this evening out of the 6 matches that we had in the first round here of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer 2018 tournament.
Oh, and it looks like we have Will Wagner in the Discord, so we just have to wait for him to connect to the room, and we will be interviewing him in hopefully just about a minute.
Most certainly. So here we are 2 days in, and 7 of the 21 first round matchups have occurred, so we've got 14 more coming your way over the course of the next few days.
So, Firon, since you did, basically 3 races today, I know one was a quad, any particular highlight you have from today? Anything stand? Again, note potential spoilers.
Oh, goodness. Well, they're all starting to rattle around in my head here. I'm kind of going back over my notes just to make sure. I know that in the quad there were 2 enemies that were particularly nasty, as they both used Dragon Lord Breath and used it pretty often, and there was at least a good potential to see them in Sherlock, and that was the Star Wyvern and the Red Dragon. So the Fun Police's presence has been very well felt. So far from today, not sure how much, stands out, at least from everything that I've seen, other than, really good play from everybody here. I mean, the fact that you've got, pretty much every runner that I had called, at least, with the exception of Will, who ran into some struggles here, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but everybody was sub 100 minutes. So, I mean, very, very impressive, and, even those who may not have necessarily finished first, or finished ahead of the other in this head-to-head race, they'll certainly be formidable, regardless of who their 0-1 opponent will be. I think the talking point from last night's race between the Seawolf and Janice was the 3 searchable spots all being in their vanilla locations. So that had a little bit of hilarity to it. And leading to people griping at McGrew, the creator and Frankenstein of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, who, as I look here, looks like he'll be having his race on Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, and he'll be taking on Bent Glass Tube.
With that ding, we do have Will joining us. Will, great job for your first race. Well done.
This race has left Will speechless.
Oh, I can't blame him. He got a really rough mid-game there with those Star Wyverns. And I'm wondering if the push to talk is tripping him up as it does so many in this.
Could very well be the case. I know I tend to struggle with this too, and maybe it's the pro wrestling and technology connection, or in this case, disconnection, as Will has left the room. Maybe I scared him off.
Oh wait, he's back, and I can actually. That chances are he does not have push to talk enabled, so hopefully he can enable that super quick from his settings, and we will hear him for the first time.
Or so we hope. It looks as though we still working on some technical audio issues here. I think we had something there a second ago.
Maybe.
think that something might have been you as I'm taking a look now here, Z-Man.
Huh. I didn't know I had any background noise coming through.
Just a slight hum, but maybe it's to the trained broadcast ear of me that I picked it up, and maybe, I don't know.
It's probably the fan in the other room, is my guess.
Oh, that could certainly do it. Well, just in case we aren't able to hear Will here, you can certainly take a look at the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord, and I'm sure that his and a lot of the other runners' thoughts that may not necessarily be safe for air can certainly be aired inside the Discord there, so you'll want to sign up and check that out. Also, you can download the randomizer itself, so that way you can take a crack at it as the tournament is underway. You can also check out the link there for the schedule of the tournament races as they have continued to come in here among the Randomania networks. Well, I believe that we're going to have some issues here as far as getting Will on here, and we're certainly looking forward to finding out his views on it, but you'll definitely want to check out the Discord, and I believe given the time at this point here, that is going to just about wrap things up for the evening. And what a long evening it has been, to say the least, between these 6 different matchups. So, again, want to thank our restreamer as well as our tracker for the evening.
Got to thank our restreamer Yanni Man and our tracker Algebra for his great work tonight. Just make sure you come on to Randomania Family Networks tomorrow for a bunch of more Dragon Warrior races, and hey, I'm even in one. So I think with that, I am going to say goodnight, and Farhan, why don't you send us out for the night?
Let's take care of it here. Make sure to give the runners a follow as well, Ouijawii and WillWagnerMusic, and see the push to talk. It tends to get all of us here. As I was still talking, didn't realize my finger had slipped off the button here. Fun times. Technology, it's great when it works, and then when it doesn't, it tends to hamstring us all. So for our runners, for all the folks behind the scenes, for my co-commentator Z-Man, I'm Farhan Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.